Number 16, the last but very not least of things that may have happened to you in childhood that you didn't know were traumatic. You learned to be hyper-vigilant. You have to sit with your back against the wall. You know where all the exits are, and you know just by scanning a room who is to be feared in this room and who is not. You can get a good read on somebody just by meeting them because you know how people's minds work. You learned that if the car come up the driveway too fast, the door was slammed, the house door was slammed, and there was yelling, that this was probably not the best time to ask for that Mars bar because you were probably going to get a belting if you did. And that also meant that you knew when to find the best time to ask for a Mars bar. So just to keep yourself safe, you had to become hypervigilant, like a sonar on a ship, always worrying about what people's attitudes were by their demeanour, by their attitude, because you had to do this just to keep safe. Now, these 16 adverse childhood experiences may not seem like a lot, but if you can imagine if all of these 16 things happen continuously throughout childhood, how this may affect your development. People often associate with the trauma of getting blown up in a Humvee of being a traumatic experience, which it definitely is. But did you know that people that get blown up in a Humvee don't always get PTSD? It's usually people that have had traumatic childhood experiences that make them more susceptible to getting the PTSD from getting blown up in a Humvee. If you try and think about what happens in the brain when you're getting blown up in a Humvee, all the stress chemicals getting dumped into your body, you're feeling out of control, what happens to you when all of these things happen to you? Yes, they're on a smaller scale, but you're still stressed. You'll still feel out of control. You're still getting all these chemicals dumping into your body. It's exactly the same, just on a smaller scale, but over a much larger period of time. Don't let anybody minimize your trauma. Just because you went in a war zone doesn't mean you don't have trauma. Your feelings are valid. A lot of people that will be watching this video probably say, I'm broken. You're not broken. You're just over-adapted and you're definitely not alone. And remember, what can be learnt can be unlearned.